We are back with Big First in App Modern at Magic Corner Vienna. My name is Michael and joining me is Walter.
Yeah, and we're here with round 2. And on the left we got Nicola PALMIERI on green-red Madcap ramp. And on the right we got Markus LEICHT on 5-color humans. Do you want to tell us something about the humans deck, Mike?
Yes, of course. Humans is a very disruptive fast deck with a really great mana base now that Unclaimed Territory is out. It's playing 4 Ether Wild, Champion of the Parish, Noble Hierarch for the early game, Dark Confidant to draw some cards, the Disrupting Spell, the new from Ixalan, Kitesail Freebooter, and another older Disrupting Spell you most likely know, Meddling Mage. And that tuned up with Talia's Lieutenant, Phantasmal Image, and of course another great disruptive card, Talia, Guardian of Frame. And not forget you all loved standard card, Reflector Mage, and a really cool 3-color card, Mantis Rider, Flying and Vigilance for 3 mana, 3/3 in the air.
Yeah, and on the other side we've got green-red Madcap, which is kind of a unique deck. It takes the basic Poncer shell of trying to ramp with Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf, untapping your Utopia Sprawl land. But instead of trying to cast turn 2 Stone Rain, we still got 4 Blood Moons in here. We're trying to go a lot bigger and more unfair. We try to cast Madcap Experiment, which will in this deck always hit our Platinum Imperium, meaning that because Platinum Imperium has the text that life totals can't change, you won't lose any life, and your opponent has to find a way to deal with the Imperium in order to kill you. Supplemented in this deck, that strategy is by a lot of mid-range threats, including Course of Crufix, Tireless Tracker, Huntmaster of the Fairy, Stormbreath Dragon, and Chandra Torch of Defiance, and also a throwback to standard times of yore. Innistrad Return to Ravnica standard, we got 3 Bonfire of the Damned, which is a really fun and swingy card in this deck, and can definitely use the extra mana to generate a huge effect. And also we got Cassie Woelfler as another mana sink. I've never seen this deck in action before, so I'm really excited to cover it.
I'm really excited to cover it too.
What do you think of this matchup, Michi, in general?
Well, this matchup will be kind of a little bit hard for the Madcap Experiment deck because of Meddling Mage, which can easily name Madcap Experiment or other cards played in the deck. Then Reflector Mage is a huge hit. And the creatures in the humans deck can get really, really big with Champion of Parish, Talia's Lieutenant, and Phantasmal Image. So this might can usually be like slamming a Reflector Mage when you have like 5, 7, 7, 8, 8, 10, 10 on the board and swing for the win.
Yeah, sure, because the Imperium is GG against some decks, but you have always, the human deck has Refractor Mage, we can just remove it at moment's notice. And also what I think is really important here is that the Madcap deck has 4 Blood Moons, and the Blood Moon completely shuts down the whole human mana base, but the human deck still has Vials, still has Hierarchs, and also if the Blood Moon comes too late, it might not matter. So let's see how this develops here. And yeah, we got a player shuffling up here, and we will try to see if they draw starting hands that they're happy with. Basically, the Madcap deck just wants to look for fast ramp into something. It's really important that the Madcap deck, in my opinion, has a start that can match the humans deck here.
I'm on your side with this, and the humans basically wants turn 1 Ether Wild or Champion of the Parish, Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, Nicola's taking a mulligan. He is not happy with his starting hand. So we see. And we saw Markus showing his hand to the camera. It looked like a very nice land and spells balance. And he's keeping. So let's see if Nicola finds something on his 6 that is better here.
Hopefully he finds something so we can see a good match.
What is interesting here, I think, is that the Madcap deck does not really have any direct interaction. There is no removal, really. We've got Chandras and Bonfires, but we don't have any Lightning Bolts, any main deck sweepers. So basically, I think that an early start by the humans deck might be pretty hard to interact from the Madcap side.
And we see Champion of Parish turn 1 from the humans side.
Pretty perfect in this matchup.
Yes,
yeah,
whenever another humans enters the battlefield, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
And Arbor Elf, so we got both players having pretty much their best turn 1 start. If Nicola can follow it up with the turn 2 Utopia Sprawl, things might get ugly quickly.
Ooh, another Champion of the Parish. This can get out of hand quite easily. So the first one gets a +1/+1 counter, the second is just a 1/1, but I think this will change. Oh, this will change now. No, Eval, sorry.
Yeah, no, if you had another human here, would have
Yeah,
cast
he
it
would
pre-combat,
have cast it, yes.
unless he does not want to deal damage to your opponent. I think if you don't
But-
want to deal damage to your opponent, you would play a different deck.
Doesn't matter how good you are, sometimes you'll make a mistake.
Sure, brain farting is a common occurrence in any Magic player ever.
So, is he going to... Okay, he's going to attack. Markus goes down to 19. He's playing another land, and with 1 mana.
I think
Birds
this
of
is a
Valor.
smart attack here, because if you're you're never planning on blocking, if you don't need the mana, if your opponent blocks with the champion, you're happy, because you probably have enough mana. So it's just a 3 point of damage, and this
Yes.
might come in handy.
Because I don't think he wants...
Mantis Rider is going to trigger both champions of the
Yes,
parish, which
so-
means that we'll have 8 points of power swinging.
Wow. Markus goes down to 8 and taps. And we see
Nicola.
what he's
Nicola's going
Nicola
down
is
to-
going down to 8,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, 5 mana available now for him. He's stepping 4 mana and he's going to play
Madcap Experiment, nice. So we have to see, because the only main deck Markus has access to here are those 4 copies of Refractor Mage once
Yes.
the Empyrean is on the board. So Markus really needs to find a Refractor Mage now. Then he's probably a favorite to win here. So we see the Experiment is flipping cards, flipping cards, flipping cards, flipping more cards, flipping all the cards. He would take way more than 20 damage right now, but he's not going to hit a non-Empyrean artifact. Flipping cards. We see more cards being flipped. Stormbirth Dragon, Blood Moon, lots of nice things, some Chandras.
But he's also basically showing his whole deck to his opponent right now.
Exactly, so Markus needs to actually have a look. If I were Markus, I would just pick up the stack of cards and be like, hey, just wait for a second, I want to have a look through it before those cards get randomized and shuffled and put under the library. But Markus probably already has a basic gist of what's happening with the cards he saw. And now we got the Imperium on the board, and the turn's being passed back to Markus.
Okay. We will see if Markus has Reflector Mage right now. It would be perfect if it would have it, because it would trigger all of his Champion of the Barrier.
Yeah, it would be
He
lethal.
could
It would be
Yes.
just lethal immediately if you had the Refractor Mage right now. But we see a Thardis Lieutenant
Yes.
instead,
Wow.
which makes his board huge, but
Really?
he needs to find Refractor Mage. He can't win. He just
No,
can't
he-
win without finding
currently he
Refractor
cannot
Mage.
win. Crucifixer has been drawn from Nicola. Is he going to play it?
Yeah, you would want to play your Crosser before playing a land at all
Yeah.
times.
But maybe he has another Madcap Experiment in hand, so I would play this. Just to be safe.
To find the second Imperium
Yes.
before you draw it? Sure,
Okay.
but here we see a flip card, which is Huntmaster of the Fells, because it's the only flip card in his deck. Flips into Ravager of the Fells, I'm pretty sure the backside is called. And we also see... I have no idea. We see a Voice of Resurgence elemental token here, and Voice of Resurgence is not in Nicola's deck. So he sometimes plays decks with Voice of Resurgence. A bit confusing here.
We see end of turn Dark Confidant, triggering Falius Lieutenant and the 2 Champion of the Parish.
Yeah, Dark Confidant makes it twice as likely for him to
Meddling
draw
Mage.
Refractor Mage.
Nice, and... Okay. We will see what his draw has been.
Basically, what Markus has to do here is just to guarantee that he needs to put as
Yes.
much power on the board that he is lethal once he draws a Refractor Mage, but he does not want to overcommit.
No.
Because he probably saw one of those bonfires and... Yeah!
It's
he saw the
bonfire.
bonfire and nice, Markus is cooperative here. Markus knows exactly what's going on. He's naming bonfire with Meddling Mage, which basically means that he's completely safe to do whatever he wants
There's a
and
sip.
just needs to survive until he finds Refractor Mage. And even the Blood Moon wouldn't do anything because the vial is already in the board, so you just need to make sure that
2
you tick a
vials,
vial, that you tick 1 vial to 3.
Yes.
And then this is looking pretty good.
So we see Dark Confidant flip.
Flipping
Phantasmal
Phantasmal
Image.
Image.
Making the board even bigger, if he wants to.
And then Ravager is going to trigger in the upkeep. So the Ravager trigger will... the Ravager trigger should actually resolve
Yes.
before the Dark Confident trigger here, because Markus, the active player's trigger, goes in the stack first, and then the Ravager trigger follows, but still the end result, the result would be the same. The Dark Confident dies here. It's interesting here that
Horizon Cannon B.
Nicola goes for Dark Confident rather than a Meddling Mage, because he knows that, yeah, not having access to Bonfire is not nice, but Refractor Mage just kills you, and Dark Confident gets you 1 draw step closer to that at all times.
Cancel freebooter. He's seeing another
Yeah,
Madcap experiment.
like what you were talking about, Michi, before. He's got the second experiment, but he also got the second Imperium,
Yes.
so casting the second experiment does nothing except for
No.
actually just killing yourself.
Currently not, because he has an...
Wouldn't it kill yourself because you just don't... I'm not sure how the card actually works, but it might... I just thought it would kill you because it would mill your whole library, but I'm not completely sure about that interaction.
I'm also not sure about it. That's okay.
But it's interesting to see that as second meddling match, I could not read that.
Me neither. Huh. What is this?
Markus's handwriting is quite nice, but I'm not completely sure about
No,
it.
sorry,
Probably
we cannot read
names
this.
another sweeper. I'm not completely sure. We'll try to clarify that if it becomes relevant.
Okay. Nicola's thinking.
Yeah, from Nicola's side, this is really hard. I don't know what you really want to do. You want to milk your Ravager, probably. Milk your Ravager and try to kill those meddling mages, but you're never going to get a bonfire. Some of those creatures are really, really big.
Yes.
They're really, really big. One of the champions is an 8/8 already, ours is 7/7. They're just going to keep growing.
Another Ether Vial. 3 Ether Vials. Not the best draw for Markus.
No, but there is no chance that Nicola can ever attack on the ground, really,
Currently
because
not.
those creatures are just way too big. You can just throw a lot of creatures in front of the Imperium, and all the other creatures are not big enough in any way or shape or form
Markus
possible.
passes just a turn. Nicola is going to fetch for... No, he's not going to fetch. Okay.
Yeah, this is a bit... The game is in a bit of a draw-go stage here, and
Yes.
Nicola is not casting the Corsair here simply because... Why is he not casting Corsair? Does he not want to mill before his opponent? Because this is the plan, his plan to win the game?
I'm not really quite sure why he's not casting it. Really can't say it.
And we got another
Huntmaster should be, or?
Another
For mana.
Huntmaster, yeah.
Yes, must be another Huntmaster.
Yeah, it is another Huntmaster, definitely. And
Yes, but
I still don't really see any path to victory here, really, from Nicola's side.
well, if you can kill the meddling witch, which is named Bonfire of the Damned, maybe we could go crazy on the board.
Sure, if you ramp your mana faster than the
Inferno
humans are
Titan.
ramped, Inferno Titan
Big draw.
is a nice way you kill one of them. You kill
Both
both
meddling mages.
because the phantasmal image will get sacrificed.
Yes.
So you deal 2 to the original meddling mage, 1 to the image. Image will get sacrificed because of its ability. So both of those are gone. But the thing is, it's very hard to imagine the bonfire outpacing the humans' growth.
They're really big.
But it's possible. So that
Yes.
might be his best bet. You might also just try to...
Swing and win.
The thing is, yeah, if you hardcast the second Imperium, this is probably your goal, because then your opponent needs 2 Refractor Mages. So you probably really want to try to hardcast that before.
Yes.
Which is... Now he has access to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana.
We see
And now he's
Crucifix.
casting Corsair. So next turn already the second Imperium might come down.
Ooh, and another land on top.
And yeah, the turn is being
Doesn't
passed
he
back
gain
to
1
Markus.
life if he plays a land? He forgot about the trigger.
Yeah, he forgot about the
Yes.
trigger. No, he did not forget about its trigger because his life total can't change. His
yeah,
life total
I'm
can't
sorry.
change. It's both ways. You
Yes.
can't gain life, you can't lose
Lose
life.
life, yes.
As
Completely
long as
forgot
this
about it.
Imperion stays in
Yes.
play, he's just locked at 8 life, which is he's happy with. So this is just, he knows what his deck does. We don't, but now we do because we're learning on the way. So yeah. And we see another experiment which also will do exactly nothing.
Yes,
But
sadly.
Nicola also figures it out. Yep, 8 mana is good enough to cast the second Imperium, so now Markus needs to draw 2 copies of Refractor Mage to do something here. But the thing is, Nicola is out of Imperiums. What Markus has to do here is he has to just put 2 vials on 3 at some point. Once he draws the first Refractor Mage, you want to put the second vial on 3, and then you want to... because you need to put both vials on 3 before, because Blood Moon might come down.
Yes.
And then you can bounce both in one turn, and you can kill him.
But we see another land from the top, which is getting played. And another land. Ooh, not great draws from Nicola's side.
Also, the thing here is, what is interesting here is that at this point, Nicola might get close to having enough jump blockers that he can survive an attack by jump blocking everything and then just replay an Empyrean. So this is really, really tricky.
Yeah, he can't
so
replay
this
it in
is a
the next
game.
turn.
Exact. He can't replay it the next turn, sure,
Reflector Mage
because of
for fixed
Refractor
that.
Mage. So this is actually a good thing. It would be really interesting if Nicola had a way to shuffle a card from his hand into his library to use this Empyrean, but alas, he does not have access to any of those cards.
Triggering all the humans again.
Yeah, and he's taking
Two
the...
Thalius Lieutenant, 2 champions.
Yeah, the Thalius Lieutenant is also getting really, really big right now.
Really big.
While it's not as big as the
Man.
13-13 Champion of the Parish, it's still quite a decent sized creature. But yeah, this is a very, very strange game of Magic. But we'll see what
By
happens.
definition, a perfect style game.
Yeah, it's like both. It's like the thing is, I would very, very much prefer to be on the side of having a plan here, which I think is Markus' side. Markus' plan is simply draw 2 Refractor Mages, win, while Nicola's plan is unsure.
What do we see here?
He's just reshuffling his library.
Yeah.
So basically,
Reshuffling.
he shows that he doesn't have an artifact, so this is what we were talking about before. So no, if you cast Madcap Experiment without artifacts in library, you're not going to lose your game, you're just going to reshuffle your library. So the best thing Nicola can do here is just, he's not happy with the top card, he's just going to reshuffle and hope for something better. And here is Chandra on top. Chandra is something that can easily win the game here.
Yes.
You need to just tick Chandra up to an emblem, but the thing is that while your life total can't change, your Planeswalker's loyalty very much can. Yes. So it's going to be hard for Nicola to defend the Chandra. But Chandra Ultimate is definitely the most relevant way of him winning the game.
We see 1 Reflector Mage. And for... Okay.
I don't think I would cast this if I don't have access to a second Refractor Mage.
There is 1 card left in hand. We'll see what it is. Cannot see it from our position. Okay, 2 mana.
It's not you! It's not Refractor, because I was like, why is he casting Refractor Mage?
Yes.
But the second card is Phantasmal Image, so now we'll see what happens, but the thing is that it's probably still not going to be a lethal attack here,
No,
but it's forcing a lot of jump blocks here,
Yes.
and it might guarantee lethal the following turn,
Yeah.
which is when the Madcap, when the Empyreans are not going to be able to be replayed. Those tokens are 2/2 wolf tokens from the Huntmasters, by the way. They represent by those elemental tokens, which is not really the same thing, but we see those fancy unstable full arts. I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah, they look great. So why not use them?
Yeah, exactly. Elemental wolf, both are green, both are some sort of creature, naturey thing. It's basically the same anyway, so yeah.
So what we are going to see here is basically jump blocks. Yeah, really. Yeah, the Huntmaster, the flipped Huntmaster is 4/4, or am I wrong?
Yeah, the Ravager of the Fells is a 4/4 trample, exactly.
Okay, so maybe 1 Lieutenant is going to be traded away. We will see.
Yeah, we have a double block on the Lieutenant right now.
On both.
Double blocks on both Lieutenants, but the thing here is that you still need to pump. No, you have a triple block, because with the double block you would have needed to pump the Inferno Titan, which would have needed you to fetch a couple of times, which you don't want, because with the course in play, you really want to preserve your fetchments, and you also really would like to preserve that Chandra on top of your deck, because it's one of the few cards that do something here, even though it's questionable if at this point in the game the Chandra still does much, because you just don't want to die.
So a lot of things are going to be traded away, and I think 2 creatures from Markus' side will die. The 2 lieutenants.
I would actually... I know you still want to... I'm thinking if you want to kill the Arbor Elf, but that would mean you have to let the Ravager survive, because killing the Arbor Elf just would constrain your opponent on mana and make it harder for Nicola to recast the Empyrean. And this is actually what he's going to do. But no, it's just a complete trade here. Yeah, because the Thalius 10 at 11 power, so all of those creatures are going to die, and then we got a couple jumps. So basically it's unclear how Nicola is going to survive the attack on the following turn. But we see what's going to happen here.
To 5 life from 8? Do you know that?
Because we have 2 Kitesail freebooters in the back row that were also attacking. 1 2 powered, 1 1 powered, 1, and those did not end up getting blocked, so 3 damage got through.
He's going to 4. He's not wanting to have.
No, because Chandra just means you die. I don't know what you really can draw here, because you can't draw Bonfire.
But now okay. He's staying on 5.
I just have no idea what out
Nope.
he could have
Card
at that
flip.
point.
Ooh, it isn't Utopia Sprawl.
Utopia Spore is one of the most important cards, but he's still looking.
Yeah.
So he might. I really don't see. I don't see any outs here. I'm looking at his deck list. I just don't see any outs. Is Cassic Woelfler lethal here? If you attack, if you flip a Cassic Woelfler, you can pump for 6, so if 8 power, and Markus at 11, so that's not an option either. Another Huntmaster is not an option either. So Nicola might still. It's still in these situations. If I think I don't have an out, I still really like spinning the wheel because you might forget something.
Yes.
You already showed your whole deck to your opponent.
So
you might as well just keep shuffling, keep using all your fetches, and see what happens. Because you might forget something. You're not giving away any free information. You don't want to just brain fart yourself into losing. And now
He's throwing another land. Okay.
yeah,
Flipping a card. Another Utopia Sprawl. This did not work out well, and he's scooping it up.
yeah, and that was game 1. So
Yes.
this was very, very, very much showing that this Imperial Madcap plan is great, but it's not as great if your opponent just has a couple of good answers. And Refractor Mage is a very, very good answer, because while it only bounces, it bounces for 2 turns, gives you 2 attack steps.
Yes.
So what do you think, Michi? What do you think is going to change with sideboarding here on Markus' side?
Well, I think Markus has some good cards for this matchup in his sideboard. For example, 2 Dismember to kill turn 1 Arbor Elf, and 2 Sin Collector to get rid of the Madcap experiment. And maybe, I'm not quite sure if he has to, I'm actually not thinking so. With you in Renegades, it's a human when it comes into play, destroys target artifact. Maybe he will bring this in, but I'm not quite sure.
It might
if it's
be.
needed.
The thing is that, like, you know, if that Nicola has access to 2 Imperiums, which means you need to have 2 answers in the same
Yes.
turn. Phantasmal Image helps a lot with that, but I might err on the side of bringing in those Renegades simply because they might matter. I also like bringing in the additional Dark Confidant. It's great in these matchups.
For card
It's
advantage.
great in these matchups because it's not going to get killed, and it just generates card advantage, exactly. And only a few of your cards matter if Imperium is in play. So I think I agree with your ideas here. And Arbor Elf with Utopia Spore is just the nutter butter. It's just going. Your Arbor Elf generates 2 mana with an Utopia
Yes.
Spore out.
This
This
is
is for
simply too
one
much.
mana thing. This is insane.
But I'm not quite sure what he will put out. Maybe, I'm really not sure, because he wants to make a lot of pressure with Talon.
Let's look. He's boarding out some
Ah.
copies of Blood Moon, probably, which I kind of agree with. While Blood Moon is a complete blowout against human decks in some situations, you need to have it early. You need to have it when your opponent does not have access to Ether Vials or Noble Hierarchs. So I like some Blood Moons. I'm not sure what the correct number is. I'm pretty convinced the correct number is neither 0 or 4. It's probably somewhere between 2 and 3, but we see what Nicola decides on here. Yeah, we see that
Ooh, Grafdigger's Cage, haven't thought
Graph
about this.
Digger's
Yes,
Cage
of
is
course.
amazing. Michi, really
Yes,
stupid.
of
Graph
course we
Digger's
are.
Cage is very good against corrected company because it can't let creatures enter the battlefield from libraries. And also, where is that Empyrean entering the battlefield from?
The deck.
Yeah, from the library. So Graph Digger's Cage is just complete GG here.
Yes.
And on Nicola's side here, he has access to some copies of Anger of the Gods in his sideboard,
So what
which
do we
is
see here?
amazing.
Ancient Grudge. I think we saw Ancient Grudge, but
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
Ancient Grudge is a necessity if you know what's happening. If you know
Okay.
this is it because of Graph Digger's Cage.
Yes, of course.
Because you know, Nicola is a very proficient modern player. He knows that all the recent versions of the 5-card humans deck have been sporting 2 copies of Graph Digger's Cage. He knows that Markus knows that Graph Digger's Cage is complete GG against Imperium. Nicola also knows that this matchup is pretty much not very winnable without Imperium, so he's already sideboarding against Markus' sideboarding, which is a very smart move and necessary. So in addition to those Ancient Grudges, he's going to bring in his 3 copies of Anger of the Gods, and all of the other cards are not really for this matchup. There's Scavenging Oozes, Stone Rains, and Thrunds in his sideboard, which are not going to shine in this matchup.
So, both have drawn their 7 cards, and we will see if someone takes a mulligan. Nicola is on the play.
Nicola's still pondering. his starting
Yes.
hand. No, both are
No,
keeping.
Both
Yeah.
are keeping, yes. Nice. Fetch or no fetch? Fetch.
So we probably see a turn 1 play here. Birds
Yes,
of Paradise,
Birds of
which is
Paradise,
not as
nice.
good as Arborev, but
No.
acceleration is the key in this deck. You have 10 one-mana accelerants for Arborev, 2 birds, and 4 Utopia Spores. Basically, with this deck, I would actually, on 7, mulligan any hand that doesn't have any of those, because you're just way too slow otherwise.
But we saw also turn 1 acceleration from Markus.
I think
Noble
there's an
Hierarch.
F&M promo Ancient Cigarette. Yeah, I'm very sure this is.
Nice. Oh, turn 2 Dialer's Tracker. So he's going on the beats. And
Yeah.
counter advantage, of
Yeah,
course.
both in one package. This is very nice.
Yes, I like it back from Standard in the GP Delirium deck. Really enjoyed playing this deck. With Emrakul, the Promised Land.
Yeah, Emrakul the Promised
Yes,
Land, the one that
nice.
got banned. Oh, and we already see a copy of Graptical's
Great.
Cage being put down here
So
on
no
turn
turn
2
three.
and the second Noble
Oh
Hierarch.
boy, but if he has a red, he does have a red source, which will trigger Dialer's Tracker and create a clue and Chandra Torch of Defiance. Bam. This is really great.
This is nice because the Chandra will can just kill one of the Hierarchs here, and then you
Yes.
have the Tracker back to block the other Hierarch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just drowning in card advantage. You kill the Hierarch, you get 2 clues.
Yes.
I know you got
No,
one clue
one clue
because it was,
because-
it was Stomping Ground, I thought.
Yes.
It was another copy footed foot here's. But you still need to find an answer to a Cage at some point. But you probably don't because Tyler's Tracker and Chandra are very much capable of winning fair games of Magic.
Oh boy, Chandra
except
is
that
gone.
Tyler's Tracker is going away, Chandra is dying. But we still got that one clue, and also you're still at 17 life here against the human stack on turn 4 with a ramp deck, which I would call some sort of success.
Yeah, I would say so too. But as you see, Reflector Mage is devastating in this matchup. Oh, we see Bonfire.
Refractor Mage is really
Being drawn.
good. You just play a lot of expensive sorcery speed
Yes.
threats, and then they just get bounced, can't be replayed.
Now we see Arbor Elf.
Yeah,
but
just
no
developing
Tokyo
his mana here. He cracked the clue before. Now it's just playing a Refractor Mage, an Arbor Elf. But he has time because the Refractor Mage is going to beat you for 3. So this is not a lot.
This is okay, going down to 14, even going down to 11 or something like this would be fine. But maybe we see a Mantis Rider, which would make things a little
Which
more
expedition is that, Michi?
quick. I don't know. Please not ask me about this.
It
Okay,
it
Falling
has to be
Lieutenant?
either Cavern of Souls or Horizon Canopy because none of these other cards have been printed
Yes.
as expedition, so I'm pretty sure it's Horizon Canopy, but no guarantee on that. Like
So, attack for 4.
our players with the fancy nice decks are making it hard on us, so I would like you to just show some
Can I take
compassion
3
towards
putter?
us
No,
pro
Dark
commentators.
Nice. Card advantage engine online.
Yeah, now it's looking pretty tough again here for Nicola because his experiments are locked out right now by the Grafdigger's Cage, but he has a copy of Anger of the Gods, which he can fire off here, but the thing is it would kill both of his accelerants too,
Yeah.
and it would leave the Refractor Mage alive, but it would kill all the other 3 creatures on Markus' side. The
Yes.
thing here is that you probably can wait another turn because even another lieutenant, but another lieutenant would put lieutenant number 1 to 4 toughness, which means that there would be 2 creatures that survive the anger.
Yes.
I would err on
wouldn't
this
be
side
good.
of actually just casting the anger here, but Nicola might figure out that he can't do it because he needs to milk it for a bit more and needs to wait a turn. We see what he decides on.
But we also see Bonfire after that. So 5 mana in pool.
This is probably Stormbirth Dragon because it's the only 5 mana threat and it's at the front of Nicola's hand.
No, Bonfire of the Damned.
Bonfire for 2. This is
Yes.
nice because it does not kill your own creatures and it kills all the relevant creatures from the other side. So this is way better than casting Anger here. Bonfire for 2 will kill the Lieutenant, the Noble Hierarch, and the Confidant. And we got Cassie Woelfler here.
Yes, and I think I saw another Bonfire of the Damned in his hand. I'm not quite sure about this. For sure, he has another Anger of the Gods. I think another Dialer's Tracker. We will see. Okay, now we will see.
Yeah, and
was
we
Anger of
got
the Gods,
Anger
yes.
of the Gods here. Yeah, I saw that before, and the Empyrean. So the Empyrean, hardcasting the Empyrean still works.
Yeah,
and
of
he's
course.
already at
He's
already
7.
at 7 here. So yeah, it's just
So
one
next
away.
turn- yes. Pyrian is a good jump blocker.
Empyrean is nice. And also Bonfire, oh my god, I played so many Lingering Soul stacks when Bonfire was in Standard, and your Jund opponent always stopped at the
Yes.
worst possible moments. Such a feel bad Magic at horrible design, I think. One of the worst by Wizards in Standards, one of the worst cards that didn't get banned, but yeah, 8 mana, Imperium. Let's
going
see
for
if
it.
you can answer it.
Yeah.
It's not like he has many other options. Like, yeah, you can play tracker instead, get a clue, but you don't want to die.
Move and go for 5. And swing for what? 4? What was the... Okay, Horizon Canopy.
Yeah, Markus is really showcasing the power of the image here in this deck, because image was a late redemption in this 5-card human set. It just gives you more copies, 3 additional copies of each of your crucial cards. So it means that you have 7 possible Refractor Mages where they matter, you have 5 possible Dark Confidence where they matter, 7 Meddling Mages, 7 Kitesail Freebooters, 7 Thalias. I do not recommend copying Thalia with your Phantasmal Image, but it's an option, so yeah.
A bad option, I would say. Yeah, the legend rule still applies. So what he's going to do, okay, Utopia's Blood on a land, Dialer's Tracker in play. He currently has 3 blockers, no clue, and he's passing the turn. His opponent has 5-6 attacking power, while Nicola is still is at 4 life, so he has to jump block.
Exactly, and this attack is free, the tracker can trade, and then we need to see a jump block, we need to see a trade. We don't even need to see a trade. We could also just jump the Refractor Mage and go to 1 here, which I'm not sure if it's better, but I think... Would you like to trade the tracker here? I would err on the side of trading it, because I think you just want to recast the Imperial next turn and hope it lives.
Yeah, but
the tracker is your long-term plan to actually winning the game.
But actually, let me think. 1, 2... I don't see his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He needs to keep Arbel for Birds of Paradise, or otherwise he can't.
Yeah, sure.
So basically he can trade with Dialer's Tracker, the Phantasmal Image, and block with Birds of Paradise, maybe the Kitesail Freebooter, because I think he can pump it with his land, or?
Yeah, you can pump it with Cassic Wolfram here, because with the Arbor Elf untapping the Utopia Spore means you have 5 mana. Cassic Wolfram is X, 1 green, 1 red, and X would be 2, meaning that the birds would be a 2-1, blocking the Freebooter, meaning it would be a trade. If you decide to block like that, you're also forced to block the image, because otherwise you would be dead.
Yes.
So this is, again, to recap, you either have this option or you have the option of just jumping the Refractor Mage and going to 1. But I think I like the trade here. Trade would also get you back your Wrangler of the Gods, which might come in handy at some point. Still not going to kill the 3-4 Refractor Mage, but might be a good option against future creatures from Markus' side.
Yes, I think so too. And I think he's going for exactly this play. He's bumming his Birds of Paradise, so he's going to trade with the Kitesail Freebooter from Markus' side. Dialer's Tracker is going to trade with Phantasmal Image. No. Okay. He's still thinking.
So with his mana actually here, I mean, if he blocks like this, he has to, he could, but why would I jump instead of?
Maybe he's going to trade with, no.
You can't trade with the Refractor Mage. Refractor Mage is 3-4 Kitesail, Tracker is a 3-2. It's just a 3-2.
Yeah, but maybe he pumped his Tracker, or I'm not really sure which creature
he might have pumped the Tracker and traded the Tracker for the Refractor Mage.
But this way he doesn't get his Anger of the Gods back. Or? Yes. Oh, okay, so he's going to, I think,
He's pumping the Tracker train with the Refractor Mage, but he's also, the bird is jumping. Why is the bird jumping then? Because he'd rather go to 2 than 1, because you want to crack a fetch. Because right now, Meddling Mage is naming Imperial. Markus has got it all here. He shows the human deck is a creature aggro deck, but it's so multifaceted. It can fight from so many different angles. This is ridiculous. And now
he just needs to swing for the win.
Now this is really, really...
Yes.
Yeah, if it just swings with everything, I don't think there is much instant speed interaction that is even possible for Nicola to have here. Because if you jump one of the 2 power creatures, you still take 3 damage.
Yes. And this
but he's not attacking with the Meddling Mage because of the Cassic Wolfram. Yes. But he would still die. So this was a nice play by Nicola, just keeping the poker face. And Markus being scared that he might have something, because Markus doesn't know what the sideboard is. If there is one lightning bolt or something here, that would be a worse play. But I'm not sure what he's playing around here. I think he should have just attacked with everything here, because basically everything that Nicola could have would kill the Meddling Mage anyways, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So I would have attacked.
But now he's going down to 1, and now we also see why it's relevant. It didn't go to 1 the turn before, but now we got another meddling mage, which is interesting what it's going to name here.
I think
We get
Bonfire.
Markus going to write, yeah,
Bonfire.
Bonfire, so we're getting back his little snippet of paper from game 1, naming Bonfire.
So do we see the second anger from him? Or will Markus win this game?
Yeah,
Okay.
we just
GG.
see the handshake here, while Nicola probably mind-gamed Markus really well here, getting him another draw step. That draw step didn't end up actually maturing here.
No, not really actually. So, thank you for watching and see you at the next match.
Yeah, see you in the next round.